Hey, I'm Cameron Schneider. I play soccer for 865 Alliance, and this is the No Playbook podcast.
All right. Thank you so much for checking out the show. This is the podcast featuring the outstanding athletes, coaches, and experts from East Tennessee. Today, joining me on the show, Cameron Schneider, a fantastic soccer player from here in the area. Actually played pro soccer for many years in 6 different countries. So, pretty cool interview. He joins me to talk just about that experience and kind of what training prepared him so that he was able to have a career like that. He also talks about 865 Alliance, the amateur club that he's a part of here in East Tennessee. He's going to be playing for this summer. This episode is sponsored by Stinnett Collision. If you are in need of automotive repair, give them a call at Stinnett Collision. I'll get to Cameron Schneider right after this. Sit tight.
Hi, I'm Zach Stinnett, third-generation owner of Stinnett Collision. As a proud supporter of Tennessee athletics, we know that every game counts. When a collision puts you out of play, we're here to get you back in the game. Family owned since 1965, Stinnett Collision now has locations in Maryville and Sevierville. With double the space and a team of certified technicians, we'll tackle your repairs and get you back on the road in no time. Don't let a collision sideline you. Visit Stinnett Collision today.
Excellent. That's a great pullover, man. I need one of those.
I can get you one. I think I've got a couple in storage somewhere.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
I had a hat, and for whatever reason, it just didn't fit my head well for 865 Alliance.
Yeah, we have a couple hats. We have I think they're all snapbacks though. I don't think we have any like fitted hats or like not trucker hat style hats.
Yeah. Still, I wear those, so I'll try again.
Yeah, I'll get you one.
Cool, man. How are things going?
Good. Good to be back in town. It's been a big transition, obviously, going from playing full time to coaching full time, but it's been really fun.
So you're now coaching just FC Alliance clubs?
Yep. Yeah, I've got 3 teams. I have an ECNL 08 girls team. I have a 2014 girls team and a 2015 boys team. So
I can't do the math. That 08 girls team, how old are those?
under 17, juniors in high school. So 17.
Oh, got it. Okay. And all that's going great?
Yeah, that's good. They're doing really well. We look like we're going to qualify for national tournament, which will be great. 2014 girls look like we're going to qualify for state, which will be great. And then 2015 boys, kind of been a tough year, but we've gotten a lot better. So far, so good.
So when you're coaching ECNL, is part of your responsibility to kind of help them get those recruiting looks?
That's probably most of the responsibility. I mean, at that point, they all pretty much know how to play soccer. You know what I mean? It's get there, get them trained, get them in shape. And then when we go to those national events, just make sure that anyone that wants to play at the next level, I'm communicating with coaches and they CC me on all the emails and that sort of stuff. So I'm doing a lot of recruiting. Josh helps a lot with it because he has a lot more connections than I do in that world, but still get a bunch of emails, bunch of phone calls.
Yeah. So I'd imagine your experience getting to play beyond college is pretty helpful, even when speaking to those coaches.
Yeah, it's good because it kind of gives you a little bit of credibility, even where I'm not new to coaching, but new to coaching in Knoxville. You know what I mean? So when they're like, oh, this guy's just a random coach that hasn't really had the time to get all of my licenses yet, at least I still have a little bit of credibility in soccer because I've been around the world a little bit and played at a high level and that sort of stuff. So my opinion matters, even though I don't have like the coaching education and licenses and all that stuff that a lot of the ECNL coaches have.
Yeah. Well, talk a little about that experience playing pro soccer.
So not all of it was rainbows and ice cream. That's for sure. There was a lot of struggle in it. It was a great time and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But, going to Costa Rica at 20 years old and you don't speak any Spanish was not super easy. So then you have to make friends that either are willing to help you learn Spanish or speak a little bit of broken English just so you can communicate with somebody. So that made the soccer aspect pretty challenging because you're sitting there listening to a coach talk about a drill or a game plan, and I have no idea what he's saying. So you just see your name on a whiteboard, and then he's telling you what to do, and you're going, I don't know what that means, but hopefully I figure it out. You know what I mean? So it kind of started that way. So it started in a super challenging way. And then after 2 years in Costa Rica, came back and got to play in the States, and it felt like way easier. Not because the soccer was much worse or anything like that, just because it was my home country and I felt comfortable. And I mean, going to the grocery store wasn't like a stressful experience anymore. So it just took a lot of the stress off. And then playing was just still soccer. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you understand exactly what your role is on the team. You understand exactly what they're asking you to do. You can kind of relax and just play. And then, funny enough, after 2 years, I went back to Costa Rica, just because I missed it over there. And then traveled a little bit, went to Mexico, Dubai, Romania, Moldova, all over the place, really. Um, Again, not always exactly what you expect it to be. You land in Dubai and you think it's going to be this great experience. And then after 2 months, you're like, I got to get out of here. It's 140 degrees and playing soccer at 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's the only time you're allowed to go outside, was not super pleasant. But then you get to Romania and you feel like you finally made it to Europe, and then you don't get paid on time. So I mean, it's not always exactly what you think when you're playing professional soccer, but at the end of the day, I got to experience the world, travel all over the world, play with a bunch of really good players that play on various national teams, and coaches that have played on national teams and coached national teams. So now that I'm not playing at that level anymore, looking back, I think I'm a better person for it. Obviously, a better player, but I'm a better person for it, because I had to fight with all the mental battle of it and the struggle of dealing with frustration and still being able to go perform every weekend and play a good game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So now in American sports, the big three that are most popular, it seems like the trajectory, it's you excel in high school, you go to a college that's a big name school, you excel there, and then you can go pro. Obviously, soccer is very different. So what did that
Mhm.
look like, that kind of trajectory from even club soccer to pros?
So I did play club soccer, high school soccer. In soccer, playing high school soccer, no one gets recruited from high school soccer. It's all club soccer. This was before ECNL, which is the best way to get recruited. But I was playing club soccer, playing in national leagues and all that sort of stuff. Was able to commit to Marshall University, went to Marshall. And then after a semester at Marshall, transferred to ETSU. Again, just soccer in America, college sports, they're not the same with soccer. Like no one goes, not no one, but very few people go from college directly to professional. There's a draft, but it's only like 2 rounds. It's not like the baseball draft where there's 30 rounds and 1,000 players picked. There's like 36 players in the draft. So I saw that college probably wasn't the best way for me to go to the next level. So playing NPSL actually in the summer, and then got the opportunity to go trial in Costa Rica. Um, just kind of got lucky, I guess. But like you said, it's so different to the big three sports where everyone's watching college and everyone's recruiting directly out of college. Most players that end up even in the MLS play in an MLS academy and either go to college for 1 year just because they have to, and then they go to the MLS, or they get signed on a homegrown right away and don't even go to college. So college on the boys side, especially, is not the best way to go professional. Um, but it's a great way to get your education paid for and play sports at a high level. And not everyone aspires to be a professional soccer player. You know what I mean? The money in America is not the same as it is in the other three sports. There's very few American soccer millionaires. But you have American football millionaires and basketball millionaires, baseball millionaires all over the place. But soccer, it's not the same in America. So if you want to play at the highest level, you almost have to go out of the country, play overseas for a little bit, and try to work your way back. I think is the best way to do it.
Do you have any cool like cultural stories from any of your visits?
And like what kind of cultural stories?
I don't know, like anything, like when I was in Romania, I didn't realize they do this, but it was a super cool experience, even off the
So
pitch.
in Romania, I didn't realize that professional soccer players drink wine before the game to relax, which was very interesting to me. So it's my first game in Romania, and we're there, and we go to our pregame meal, and they bring a bottle of wine, and I'm looking around thinking surely it's for the coaches or like the training staff or something. It shouldn't be for us. And players drink a glass of wine, and I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" They're going, "Oh, well, this stadium has a lot of fans, so we want to make sure that we're relaxed. We'll drink a glass of wine each to calm the nerves." Which I was like, in America, you can't do that. Like that's unheard of. So that was interesting. Um, Coaches smoking cigarettes in the locker room in Costa Rica and in Romania was just a normal thing. You don't do that in America. So a lot of it was like just how different their culture is in general, just bleeding into soccer. You know what I mean? Like you go in the morning and see a bunch of people drinking a beer in the morning instead of a coffee. When I was in Romania, which was odd. Just weird stuff like that. Nothing really on the soccer field. I feel like soccer is soccer at the end of the day, but definitely American soccer and sports in general, we see athletes as like the cream of the crop, healthy, drink a gallon of water a day, eat your protein, eat your vegetables. And over there, they're like, if we're good at soccer, we're good at soccer. We don't really care that much about what we put in our body as long as we can still perform on Saturday. So that was very different.
Yeah, that's interesting. Uh, so now what about when you were a kid, like even growing up playing club? What was the training like for you, even off the pitch?
So obviously back then we trained 2 days a week. Um, I was a high energy kid and my dad was a coach. So I obviously was at the field more than most people. So I would have, say my practice was at 5:30. I would stick around for a 7 o'clock practice after that. So my team would practice twice a week. I was probably practicing more like 4 or 5 times a week just because I had nothing else to do. I wanted to be at the field. I wanted to play. And then I didn't do a lot of private sessions in terms of like foot skills and stuff, individual sessions. I just felt there was more value in playing and team training because you're always playing against competition. I don't think that doing drills around cones is super important once you get to a certain level. So I would just try to hop in as many team sessions as I could, whether they were older than me, younger than me, boys team, girls team. I just wanted to play. I was at Concord Blue Courts. There's like an inline skating hockey rink in Concord where we used to go and we'd play pickup soccer there, like futsal, street soccer. I did that a couple times a week growing up. It was really just playing as much soccer as possible. Um, I've never really loved practice, but I've always loved playing. So that was just my way of not getting burnt out, was playing against people, whether they're better than me, older than me, different gender, didn't matter. I just wanted to play soccer as much as possible.
That reminds me a little. When I was a kid, there was a field very close to my house, and there was I'll stay politically correct. There was a population of the town I was in that worked in tobacco fields,
Hmm.
and they had Sundays off. So every Sunday they would come and play barefoot soccer like all afternoon. And I
That's
would come
awesome.
and I was just the little kid playing with adults. I'm like, you guys mind if I
Yeah,
play? So that was just kind of the
that's awesome.
culture. It was a lot of good time.
Yep, that's awesome. Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I was in high school playing in I mean, for lack of a better word, the Hispanic League on Sundays. You know what I mean? It would be me and a bunch of my Hispanic homies, and we'd go out there and play soccer, and it was awesome. And some of them were 40 years old, and some of them were my age high school kids. But it was just a way to go play soccer and get outside. And like I said, not practice soccer, but be able to play as much as possible. And I think that that really benefits as you get older because you can read the game faster. You see things that you wouldn't see if you're only training against cones or in a 1v1 session. So just getting to see different situations that you can't replicate unless you're in a game as much as possible as a young kid, I think that definitely helped with my development.
so now as a coach, can you kind of detail what sets FC Alliance apart from uh, just any other club in all of East Tennessee?
Yeah, so I think our curriculum is more based on developing players rather than developing teams. There's this trend right now that everyone wants to build out of the back and everyone wants to play like Pep Guardiola and have 100 passes before you go forward. And they're building teams. But if the other team has a coach or a player that's exceptional and you don't have any way to change the way you're playing or have a special player go and change the game for you, it's really hard because everyone is almost playing robotic. Like everyone wants to play receive it and pass it, receive it and pass it. And nobody wants players that drive at you and dribble and make it hard to go 1v1. So I think FC Alliance, we're trying to create more special players, more recruitable players that can go on and have a career at the highest level because they're developed individually. And we're teaching them soccer so they can go in and play in any system, any formation with any coach because they're good soccer players that understand the game, but we're not telling them exactly how the game should be played. They can still make up their mind of what they want to do when they get the ball. We give them ideas, but we try to develop players over developing teams. And I think when we get into the ECNL level, which we're playing against the best teams in the country and the most recruited players in the country, we need players that can step up and change the game for you rather than just having the most structured robotic team ever sometimes you need a player to go and say, hey, I got this. I'm going to go win the game. And we're trying to give players the freedom to do that and understand it. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to give the ball away. We're trying to get you recruited. So you need to be seen as a special player. So if we have a bunch of average players, we're doing them a disservice too, because at the end of the day, our goal is to get players into college. Train good people, confident players, but also get them into college.
Yeah. Now, kind of along the same lines, 865 Alliance.
Mhm.
Why should people consider spending a Saturday afternoon coming to watch them at Hardin Valley this summer?
So 865 is something that I'm excited that I get to play for them this year. Since we started it 3 years ago, I've actually been looking forward to coming back and playing in Knoxville. And what I think is cool is we've got a really good mix. We have a first team and a second team this year on the men's side. And I mean, the women's side, we all know they were undefeated last year, so they're special. They're just the best players in the area, and they go out and they're really good. On the men's side, I think is cool is we have a big mix of players that just graduated high school that are getting ready to go off to college. We have players that are in college that are coming back that are going to play this summer. We have some players that are older, more experienced players that aren't even from Knoxville but moved in and they want to go and be part of the team. And then there's players like myself who grew up through FC Alliance. Now I coach in FC Alliance, and I'm coming back and I get to play with some of the players that I've coached in the last couple of years, and players that they want to go on and kind of do what I got a chance to do and play at the professional level. So we have a lot of Knoxville kids, a lot of East Tennessee college players, and we all have different goals. Not everyone wants to play professional. Not everyone's going to even play at a Division I college. But we have Division III, NAIA, Division II, Division I players, ex-pro players. There's 2 or 3 other professional players that are coming back aside from myself. So we have a lot of different players, different backgrounds, different goals, but we all come back and we play for the club kind of that we grew up playing for. You know what I mean? We have Timmy Baker, who was a 1994, played for FC Alliance, played professional in Australia for a little bit. He's played at Maryville College, Gatorade Player of the Year. He's in his 30s now, and he's coming back to play. You know what I mean? So it's something cool for the 18, 19-year-olds to see these guys grew up in FC Alliance before I was even playing soccer, and they're still playing in the club. So I think that's something that for the older guys, it's really cool to be like, hey, these guys actually, I remember being in their shoes, and now we all have a place to play together. Whereas me and Timmy, for example, there was no semi-pro team. There was no men's team for FC Alliance back then. So now it's just cool to know that you can grow up from 6 years old all the way to, like, I'm 28, Timmy's in his 30s, and still be part of the same club, the same family. That's something I think is pretty cool.
Now, of course, you've also got talent like Andy Sullins coming back
Mhm.
from Virginia Tech. Lucas Nordine, is Lucas maybe the youngest guy on the team, you think?
Oh no, we've got
No.
players. I mean, Jack Ralston, Brady Hammer. Brady Hammer had a great year at Maryville. He was a freshman this year. He'll be on the team. Jack Ralston's the same age as Brady. He plays at Berry College. So we've got 18, 19-year-old guys on the team as well. There's a couple players that played for our 07 ECNL team that are on their way to college that'll be playing for the team. So we've got anywhere from 18 to 31 years old on the team.
Wow. And it's such great talent too. And of course, as you
Mhm.
mentioned, the girls are just phenomenal.
The girls they're a different level. I mean, last year they were undefeated, won the conference. This year we have a lot of players coming back and returning. So, I mean, I don't want to assume anything, but I think that we can have another year similar to last year. They've got same thing. They've got players that are currently in high school that are going to be on the team that are high level ECNL players that are high level Division I college recruits, all the way up to players that have graduated college and are coming back to play. So same situation that the boys have. It's a full circle team where players that are currently in FC Alliance can play with players that have been away from club soccer for years, but we all still come back and play for the same summer team.
So now one last question. Everybody gets it. Share with me one unforgettable soccer memory for you.
Ooh, it's got to be the bicycle kick. When I was playing for Knoxville Force in NPSL, I was maybe 18 years old. and I was playing semi-pro for Knoxville Force back before 865 Alliance and any of that. And we're playing against Nashville. It's 80th minute, 82nd minute, something like that. We're tied and go up, score a bicycle kick to win the game. It's crazy to still be thinking about it 10 years later, but that was pretty cool. I mean, I still have little kids that I coach. Like, I saw your bicycle kick on YouTube, and they weren't even born yet when I scored the goal. But for somehow people still know about it. So that's something that's going to be hard to forget. That was a cool experience.
Well, that's just a kick too. If you like hit it just right, it feels great. It's
Yeah, that
it's tough.
feeling. I really wanted to go shirt off for the celebration, but I was already on a yellow card, so I couldn't. So I had to like think about what to do so I didn't get sent off. But that would have been the icing on the cake to go shirt off and kind of celebrate that way. But wasn't able to. But it was still that was a great experience. That was a cool goal.
Oh, that's phenomenal. I had Josh Gray on yesterday.
Nice.
So, yeah, man, I'll put that out. And then I've got another UT player coming on next week too.
Awesome.
So,
That's cool.
all right, man. Thank you so much. I'll have this out in a couple of
Yeah.
weeks.
Sounds good. Thank you, man.
See you, buddy.